And good evening, folks. Welcome back to Undercover ET. Guys, we've got a right mixed bag for you today. We've got UAP evidence coming out of several countries. We've got Rep Burlison talking about a mystery suicide, and this is a UFO whistleblower known to David Grusch and the likes, guys. So we're going to listen to what Rep Burlison's got to say. And we've also got some UAP evidence out of Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. I hope I said that right. UAP Wixie has posted that one. And we're also going to look at a clip from Colin Cowherd regarding the bubble around the UAP themselves. Really, really interesting. So we're going to try and mix it up a little bit. Like and subscribe. As always, we do need your support. Support the public's evidence. Support disclosure. Let's go. Alright, on to UAP James. Rep Burlison says the FBI are investigating the mysterious suicide of UFO whistleblower colleague of Jake Barber and David Grusch. Concerning, let's have a look and listen.
General McCaslin apparently walked out of his home, left all of his devices, and never came back. And Monica Reza, she was on a hike as well and mysteriously disappeared. And I've heard of others. We've already sent a letter. When I first came in, I heard of another gentleman, and I'll keep that name to
Sure.
out of respect. I sent a letter to the FBI investigating the suspicious suicide of another individual who had worked alongside, other whistleblowers like David Grusch and Jake Barber who had come forward. So their colleague is mysteriously committed suicide. We've already sent the letter to the FBI to investigate that, and that is an ongoing investigation.
Wow. So clearly the pushback is already begun, guys. The war behind closed doors is starting, and people are starting to drop off, which is really unfortunate. I know that there's no direct evidence at the moment, but unfortunately people will be silenced one way or another. And that's why I kind of feel like it's really important that public disclosure gets pushed, because we're not Congress people, we're not military people, and the only thing the world really needs is solid evidence, and they're not going to start popping off myself and other people showing evidence, because there's just too many of us. There's just way too many of us. And because we're not military or we're not, high ranking people, we're the last people to get looked at and believed, right? So we're last on the list, which is why I say don't worry about it, guys. You're not going to have anyone turn up at your door. You've shown so much over the last year and a half. I very much doubt we're going to get picked off. So look, just continue doing what you're doing, guys. Obviously they're picking people off because they don't want this out there. We want it out there. Okay, we want to stop being controlled. We want the better technology. We want to know our cosmic friends. And so it is going to be a long one. It's going to be a painful one, but we'll get there in the end, I'm pretty sure. Thanks very much, UAP James. Appreciate your posts. Keep doing what you're doing, and let's move on. Okay, Concerned Citizen next. He says this: meanwhile, last night in Helsinki, Finland, even local news channels were reporting on mass sightings of orbs over the Finnish capital. The number of worldwide sightings is increasing again. And I did say it would be, guys. This is the year of disclosure. Let's have a look at this sighting and let me know all your thoughts in the comments. Now, I'm not going to lie. Initially, when I saw this, I thought, oh, they've got to be reflective lights from a car or something, because these lights here, specifically these two, they look like they're a good distance apart, that they would be car headlights. But as you can see, they're travelling from left to right, and this person isn't actually filming from the roadside. They're not in a car. They're up high, filming from a window. And that's where I went, hold the flipping phone a minute. Really interesting clip. Not a lot to go on. 1, 2, 3, potentially 3 different craft. Potentially 6, I guess, but it looks more like 3 different ones. And they're just hovering over Finland. Happy days. Not a lot more to say on the matter. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This was apparently all over Finnish news, and it has done its rounds now on X. So let me know all your thoughts, guys. Thanks very much, Concerned Citizen. Appreciate it. And keep doing what you're doing. Also, you're helping push awareness, mate. That's what we need. I just want to take you over this one quickly. The Paranormal Chris. What if the famous Tic Tac UFO video was actually a plane? Thanks to Marek posting a graphic to debate between him and James McCarthy and myself. I noticed that something looked similar. It's hard to deny that with little rotate, flip, reverse, that it doesn't look like a fixed wing craft, like a plane or maybe an inverted tail. Regardless, that doesn't look to be a tic-tac shape, therefore giving more relevance to it just being a fixed wing craft, not a flying propane tank. So what they're trying to say is, guys, this potential tic-tac is not a tic-tac. They're saying it could be a plane, right? And looking at it visually, I get where they're coming from, okay? Absolutely do. So I posted this. Clearly not a plane. This one comes from the crop circle there, and it's the same or similar object. This is a UAP that I captured in Sutton Venie when a crop circle formed. I was there for 2 or 3 nights, and we captured quite a bit, guys. It was quite a lot of activity. Yeah, so it's very easy on grainy military footage to depict something as a plane or a UAP or whatever. But in reality, if you've not got crystal clear footage, you can speculate all day long, couldn't you? And also, we should question what the military are putting out there, because a lot of the sightings that they do put out, we've got better. And it makes me wonder actually if they're the real deal. Maybe they are. Maybe they're just holding back. I don't know. Thanks, Paranormal Chris. I wasn't going to include this one, but I've just done it. So there you go. All right, on to the juicy stuff. UAP Wixie. A man in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, I hope I said that right, in 2019 films these 3 UFOs, 2 triangle-shaped UFOs that are filmed close together with a little UFO that circles, then slowly hovers off. Then the 2 triangles slowly hover apart. Very cool stuff. You can see here they're clearly triangles. What's interesting here as well is they've got circles right in the middle. I'm going to touch on that in a minute because that might be something we've seen in the past. But let's get into it. Unfortunately, the guy is flipping dying recording this. Probably got a cold or something. So this is what UAP Wixie was saying. You know, object over here seems to circle these 2 objects and then it moves away. Honestly, if this one's further out, like the other side of those objects, you wouldn't know really what sort of shape or size it was. But these 2 here look very, very interesting. Look at that. So they pull away from each other, they then turn, and you get to see the shape of them. Okay, and that's what I was talking about the other day, how if something is side on, it will just look like a tic-tac or a hockey puck. Until it actually turns, you can't see what the size and the shape of the thing really is. So yeah, look at this. Amazing stuff. Just going to pause it here, because you'll see underneath there are round indentations. You can clearly see there's something round, whether it be design or something else within this craft, yeah? And this looks very, very similar to the round discs that we're seeing just hovering in the sky. We've seen them all over the world. I've mentioned it a few times. It's really, really intriguing to me that these triangles have that characteristic. Because honestly, if these things can split off and do whatever, this thing could literally... It's possible. I'm not saying this is what happens, but if you took off this sort of corner here, this corner here, and this corner here, you'd be left with that circle. It does make me wonder, can these triangular craft detach themselves and fly independently and then come back? Because if they could, that would explain why we're getting a lot of different sightings, guys. Also, it goes back to the Wales clip that we took last year. To me, it looked like a saucer. The lights were clear. But honestly, it could have been a triangle. I really don't know. And this is what makes this clip really, really cool. Just going to play towards the end. It's much of the same.
Oh.
Unfortunately, there's nothing else to really go on. I want to just take you back to this bit here and just pause it, because that right there, you can see they look like 2 shoes on top of each other, right? And then when they turn, like they look like triangles because that's the shape they are. This looks very, very close. These objects look very, very close to something Karen Rickson Thomas sent me last year of a potential portal in her garden where these objects were moving in and out from. And I'll just pull up the picture now. You can see they're like tiny little pixels in around this swirly notion that the camera's picked up. And if I just zoom that image in, you can see there's several different craft, several different size craft, and they look very, very similar to these craft, at least in shape. And that's just me connecting more dots, guys. Honestly, when Karen showed me this portal image, she didn't know there were UAP moving through them. It was only when I zoomed in and had a good look, and I was like, hang on a minute, these are craft, you know? So, interesting stuff. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you, UAP Wixie, as always, for posting that. And we look forward to more from you, buddy. Thank you very much. All right, UFO Mania, Colin Cowherd just asked a question. Everyone is afraid to touch. Let's have a look at what that question was, guys. We've seen UAP, I have at my hotspot anyway, with bubbles around them, guys. Very hard to see sometimes. They don't always show this bubble, but they're there, okay? And I've got a theory as to what happens as well. We're going to listen to what's being said in this interview, this short clip, and then I'm going to read my response that I gave these guys in the comments below, and then we'll call it there. Let's have a listen.
Rap theory. It's about a 3 to 5 minute discussion. And it really, to me, it was a pivotal moment because a lot of these things look different. The ones I've always struggled with is the ones that appear to have a circular device or a shield around them, and it was described by your physicists.
Yeah, so over the years, there's been a lot of flight performance characteristics that have been observed when people see UAP. They see them doing these performance characteristics that defy physics as we know it, right? And a couple of the very senior scientists that I interviewed who worked on classified UAP programs for the US government, they reveal in the film that they have figured out how this technology works, how these UAP are doing what they're doing. And simply put, these craft are generating a significant amount of energy, and they're they're essentially warping space-time, which sounds like something out of a science fiction movie. I understand that. Right. But they are saying, what these scientists reveal is that they are warping space-time in a localized area, and they're creating a bubble around the craft. And essentially, the simplest way to say it is that bubble creates a barrier between the environment the craft is in and our environment. So the laws that, define what you can do, what physics allows you to do in our environment are no longer applicable, right? So what happens in that bubble is completely different than what happens outside the bubble. So they might be moving along, having a Sunday stroll, like a leisurely flight, right? And to us, it looks like they're going at these impossible speeds. It explains everything. It explains why transmedium travel is observed. We see these craft going from space to the air to the ocean seamlessly through these separate environments, which is not something our aircraft can do. But once you understand that they're in their own space-time environment, they're within this bubble, then it makes sense because the bubble and everything in it is not impacted by the environment around it. It also explains why we've had so much trouble getting these things on radar, because the way radar works is a radar emitter shoots radar at an object and then it bounces back to the radar emitter, and that's how you figure out where the thing is, right? But in this case, the radar is just bouncing around the bubble and continuing on, right? It also explains, the answer to the age-old question of why is it so hard to get a good photo or video of a UFO? The simple answer is because we're taking photos and videos through a space-time barrier, through this bubble. It's the equivalent of trying to take pictures of fish under the ocean from above the ocean. You can't do it, right? No one would ever be like, hey, I'm trying to take a picture of these fish in this koi pond and it looks all blurry. Why is that happening? You'd be like, well, moron, you're taking a picture from above the water to something in the water, right? And it's the same thing here. Like, you can't get a good picture of these things because we're trying to take photos through a space-time barrier, through this bubble that's been created. And this warp bubble is the key to that technology. And what's also extraordinary about it is, as these scientists say, this technology, this ability to generate this immense amount of energy in a localized area and create this warp bubble, it is, in their opinion, the key to interstellar travel.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. I went on to comment and said that there's a mechanism within these craft that push out their own barrier, like the gentleman just said. So it pushes out from within and totally surrounds the craft itself. Therefore, it can travel in water, through the earth, all that stuff. It really makes no difference. This just moves matter away. And what he's talking about when warping time and space, he means the space, literal space around this craft will suddenly warp. It will just suddenly, imagine you're looking down the tarmac road and it's really hot and you get that wavy sensation of heat going through the air. Everyone's seen that, right? It looks like that when this shield goes around the craft. They literally warp the space-time around it, meaning if you was looking right at the craft, the air around it would warp and it would look like something out of the flipping Twilight Zone, mate. And this is exactly what we've been saying now for 2 years. I've been saying that these things have got bubbles around them. Then Lou Elizondo came out with his book and it was in there like 4 months later. Now this guy's confirming it as well. People do know about this. It's only just coming out, guys. This is the thing. So yeah, really, really good stuff we've captured. And this is what makes Ben's video really compelling, guys. Because like he's just said, these things have got a bubble around them. It's very, very difficult for us to penetrate that through a camera that's on the outside of that bubble, right? It's like filming for fish in the ocean from above. You're not going to get any detail because the water's just too dark, right? This is what makes Ben's capture so compelling, guys, because that saucer on that particular day showed itself. It really showed itself, guys. It literally went, hey, there's a chap down there recording. We're going to show ourselves to him. And that's what happened, guys. Now, you can see the saucer itself. There is some distortion around the craft. Of course there is, okay? But it's wobbling through the sky like nothing that we can make, guys. Nothing actually moves like that. It looks like some Twilight Zone cartoon shit. And yet, it's there. It's visible. We've got detail, potential pilots. That's what makes that clip amazing. And look, I've had people recently go, that's not the best UFO clip in recent times. Yes, it is, mate. Because I don't know of any UFO clips that give that much detail, no matter how many times I come to this computer and share and share and share. I haven't shared anything quite like it that I can verifiably say is real. Ben, you're a legend, mate. That's all I've got to say. And look, guys, this is why we've got to push this evidence, because we do have the best of the best. And I don't mind if we don't. Just show me the best, right? Someone can verify. I took the footage, got several clips. Here's one of them. If it's clearer than what we've got, fine. He'll knock Ben off the pedestal. But until then, mate, you are number one on this channel, and that's not going to change until someone captures something much clearer. Thank you very much, UFO Mania. As always, guys, support the people that I'm showing on the channel. Support me. We need to get evidence in. Get your cameras in the skies. Email them to me, undercoveretuk@gmail.com. And with that said, guys, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. Take care. All the best. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye for now.